Chips.
You did?
We call these crisps. But chips are fries here. Yes. Sorry, I forgot where I was for a moment.
I just call them potatoes. You know, you say sorry a lot.
Do I? Sorry. It's an English thing.
So, do you really believe that the locket will bring you true love?
Doesn't matter what I believe, but it does make a nice story for a lost piece of history that doesn't want to be found.
You're on a treasure hunt.
I suppose so.
Okay. I'm gonna help you. If only to keep my peaceful little town from being overrun by a bunch of Indiana Jones wannabes.
Like me?
Nobody could be like you.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
To be determined.
But thank you for taking the time out to speak with me. It is a pleasure to speak with you this morning regarding your new film.
Of course, yes. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Let's get started. Tell everybody about the new movie, Legend of the Lost Locket.
So it's about a British antique stealer who is on the quest for the other half of the locket. Her mother had started this quest, but unfortunately she passed away. And in her honor, Amelia decides to continue this quest, and it takes her to a small town in Massachusetts where she comes up against the town sheriff. They butt heads a little bit. He's quite suspicious of her and her methods of searching for the locket. And she falls in love with the town. She falls in love with the people and possibly one person in particular.
Yeah, I like the way you broke that down. About the movie, Legend of the Lost Locket. Just give us a premise of it.
Yeah, so Legend of the Lost Locket, starring Natasha Burnett and myself, Viv Leacock, directed by the amazing Kevin Fair. It is about an antique dealer who travels from the UK to prove the provenance of this is what she's telling my character, who plays a sheriff in a small town outside of Massachusetts, that she's trying to prove the provenance of a certain antique. In fact, she is there trying to find the other half of a locket that used to belong to Queen Elizabeth II, that her mother, who was also an antique dealer, had spent her entire adult life trying to find the other half of this locket that got separated because there were two lovers that couldn't be together, and one went off from the UK to America to make his fortune so that he would be worthy of marrying this woman, so the lockets are in two halves, and that's her whole mission. And in the process of trying to find the locket, she encounters Marcus Forrest, and the love ensues. That is the premise.
Yeah, I love that. It is a different type of story, like you were saying with the Lost Locket. What do you enjoy most about the story of the film?
Yeah, you know, with a lot of romantic comedies nowadays, we kind of found that there wasn't a lot of comedy in a lot of the romantic comedies. They say romantic comedy, but there's like less comedy and more kind of romance. We tried to bring the comedy element back in full force, which was really enjoyable, just because I just think it just helps with the whole experience. If you're laughing with these people, you can fall in love with them even more. So that was the best, that we brought that energy, and a lot of the crew that are used to filming a lot of the movies like this, they were cutting up all the time, breaking out laughing, just because it was like, okay, we didn't know it was gonna be so funny. So definitely that was my favorite thing about bringing this story to life, is showing that there's a couple, there's two professionals, and they're really good at what they do, and neither one of them is lamenting that they don't have a significant other. It's a fact, but it's not the thing that's like driving them to do what they do. They don't make decisions because they're sad about their love life. They are professionals trying to do something. She's trying to find something, and I'm trying to stop her from finding it in the way she's been trying to find it, which is illegal in a lot of cases, because she's breaking into places trying to find information. And as a police officer, my character's like, you can't do that. Even though you're cute, you cannot do that. So yes, that's the thing. We had a lot of fun with it, and Natasha and I, we have really good chemistry. So it all came together real nice.
I really liked how Amelia, her focus was the antique. And I really liked how the movie was centered mostly around the search for this antique. I think it's really nice to have another story, even in these rom-coms. It can be really nice to have another underlying story that really drives the whole story.
Yeah, definitely. How was it working with your co-star and the rest of the cast for this movie?
Oh, it was great. It was so fun. I mean, just being able to work with Viv in a different capacity, in something that's modern day, it was just, we were much freer. And of course, I'm using my natural accent. And so we had so much fun bantering. And some of the improv is actually still in the movie. So that was great.
Real nice.
Yeah, that was my next question, because you and her do have great chemistry. You guys have a working relationship. How was it working with her on this film and the rest of the cast?
Yeah, so Natasha and I met on When Calls the Heart 2020. And even to a lot of the cast, they were like, how long y'all know each other? You guys go way back. I'm like, no, I met her 3 weeks ago. Like when we first started filming, because they were like, you guys seem like you know each other forever. Yeah, and there's just with Natasha and I, there's our families have a similar kind of rhythm and makeup to how how we grew up was very similar, and the kind of our parents and their style of parenting is a connection for us, in terms of heritage and foods and stuff like that. We're both West Indian, but so we connected on that, and we also connected on the fact that as actors, we were coming on to a show that was so well established. When Calls is the juggernaut of Hallmark, and we're not like fish out of water, but almost. You're coming into a thing that's it's been moving without you, and it's a big thing to jump into. So we were kind of brought together by that. There's certain facts that have lined up to give us this relationship that we have, and just our banter. Anytime we were doing interviews, I was just like, this is something. Because Natasha's from the UK, so the way she expresses in real life and what she says, and oh man, it just cracks me up. So I was like, we have something with this. There's something here. And we just built a lot of situations based off of stuff that literally went down in real life, like Natasha ordering chips and getting chips, like a Ruffles chips rather than French fries, because she's English, and so she's like, oh my god, we put a lot of our kind of real life interactions into this film, so it's it's a lot of fun. We correct each other, you're supposed to say this way. This is how you. She'd be like, how do y'all say that word? And I'll say how people in North America pronounce something. She's like, oh Lord, you guys are killing the Queen's English. You're killing it.
That's real good to hear about that chemistry, because it shows across, on the screen. But you have to tell everybody why they need to tune into Hallmark to watch the film Legend of the Lost Locket.
Yes. Everybody, y'all should tune in to watch Legends of the Lost Locket, because we think it's such a fun ride, and it's just such an honest situation as far as being professional and trying to do your job, but realizing that there's someone in front of you that is affecting you, and you should do something about that. It's kind of a throwback to we think the way romantic comedies were done before, and it's just the spirit of this. There's a lot of play in this one, so we think that's where this one will maybe stand apart from a few of the others, and we're really looking forward to people's feedback. We're so excited for everyone to watch this.
They need to watch this movie, because it's a bit of everything. It's a rom-com with a bit of mystery, and it's just a fun movie for anyone that likes any genre. You'll love it for something or other, or just for everything.
Definitely. And then you got to give us a little scoop on the upcoming season of When Caused the Heart. Can you tell us a little bit about your characters this season, on 11th season, actually?
Yes. So yeah, wow, season 11. Very exciting to be here for another year. And you know, this year, Minnie, I think she definitely comes into her own this year. She really does branch out and find other projects to do. She works with more of the other people in town and other characters, and that was actually really fun to do for me, because I usually spend a lot of time mostly with the family, so being able to branch out and do other stories was really exciting. And then with the family, we have a very interesting family story to tell, and Minnie's there to assist in healing old wounds for Joseph, and so that was a very nice story to be able to play.
Yeah, looking forward to the new season. It starts Sunday.
Yes, Sunday.
Well, all right. What is next for you? Because you got all this going on. What's your next project or anything that you want to work on coming up?
Oh, let's see. I did just finish a project. However, I can't talk about it.
Right. Understand.
But it was a great project. It's a fun project. I cannot wait until I can share about that one. But otherwise, you know, it's always just to wait and see what's going on. And there's a few things in the pipeline, but yeah, it's just seeing them come to fruition.
Real good. Well, I definitely want to thank you for taking time out speaking with me. Again, my name is Aries. I'm from Urban Bridges, and I want you to continue success and blessings.
Thank you so much.
Then before we wrap, we have to ask you about the new season of When Caused the Heart. What can you tell us about Joseph and Minnie this season?
Yeah, so as everyone can tell from the giant billboards and and social media, the Nathan and Elizabeth, these two factors that have been circling each other for a long time, maybe they're heading towards each other. It's really the thing where, you know, it was actually such a cool thing to watch Aaron and Kevin navigate the storyline concerning Nathan and Elizabeth. It's so in every interaction they've ever had throughout the entire series. You know, this is a culmination of all of that, and we introduced some new characters, but you know, we're trying to get to we're trying to get to something that's it's been the elephant in the room. Let's put it that way. The elephant in the room. We're finally addressing the elephant in the room, kind of thing, and yeah, we'll see how we navigate it. I gotta give credit to the creatives. It's not easy to craft this storyline. It's so exciting and so inspiring to see how a team of writers and creatives can just continually keep expanding this universe, and, you know, paying respect to what was before, and as well as, you know, inviting new folks in who haven't seen the show before. It's a lot to ask, because, you know, you have to look at it that way. Shows have to evolve. You know, things have to change. You know, what we're doing here as actors is like we're using, you know, imaginary circumstances, but we have to put a huge amount of conflict and emotion and love and sacrifice. We have to put those things on it, or else people aren't going to tune in. So it's a tough gig, and I had the chance to shadow Peter DeLuise as in terms of directing. I'm interested in directing, so Hallmark was gracious enough to let myself and Johanna Newmark shadow the directors this season, the season that we just filmed. And I got to tell you, I have a newfound respect for everybody that puts their time and energy into creating an episode of When Calls the Heart, because it's all being done considering the fan base. All of it. Every decision is carefully scrutinized. It is agonized over. Like the thing I want the Hardys to know especially is that everybody is hard at work trying to do the things that I was saying before, which is pay respect to the actual storyline as it was intended, but expanding the universe beyond the original, the original material, and inviting new folks in to experience, 11 seasons of a show. That is a tall order, and I'm extremely proud that myself and especially my two kids get to be a part of it, because it's a very important. This show represents a very important place in as far as what we need nowadays. We do need a place where we can unplug and turn on content and not be worried about, you're gonna get bombarded by, this is why you're no good. This is why, this is why people, you can literally turn on the TV and just feel worse about yourself when you turn it off. But this is we're proud to be a place that you can turn it on and you hopefully you're uplifted, by the time we're done. It's that responsibility, and I think it's it serves a big purpose. I gotta tell you, as someone who came on, season 8 and watching the fan base, I am completely blown away by the amount of support and love, and a lot of times, to be honest, the reactions to some storylines where people don't they may disapprove, or it hits them, and it's like, you know what, that's because we're doing our job. If it's what I mean, like you can sit there and go, oh man, that's too bad, but it's like, no, this is to tell you that this is, people are connected to this show, and they're connected to what they're watching, and it means a lot. And it's I like the responsibility. I like the responsibility of going into, every time we read a script, we all go through it and go, maybe we can do this differently with this in mind. Maybe we should, everybody is constantly trying to throw their 2 cents in to make it as good as possible and as far reaching as possible. But hopefully another rom-com with Natasha. That would be very wonderful. My brother and I are developing a TV show as well, called The Hard Way. It is a procedural kind of back, Simon and Simon meets Bad Boys meets The Rockford Files. It's a throwback, and it's my brother Richard is an actor as well. He's the guy who got me into the game, and we're just excited to try to put something together and work together. That's something that we're both looking forward to. But for now, very, very excited about Legend of the Lost Locket. Very excited about When Calls, and for everybody to see what we've done with season 11. I'm very excited about that. So looking forward to everybody's reaction.
No doubt. Well, again, I want to thank you for taking time out speaking with us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Love the movie. Looking forward to the new season of When Calls. I always say the title of the show wrong, but looking forward to it. But you continue success and blessings. You have a good one.
Thank you, my brother. See you soon.
Have a good one.
All right.
I'm an antique stealer.
Do you think the missing half of the True Love locket is in Wilmington, Massachusetts?
To find the missing locket,
Do you really believe that the locket will bring you true love?
she recruits a modern-day knight in shining armor.
Were you planning on attending the ball tomorrow? Well, you are now, and I'll be your +1.
When Calls the Hearts, Natasha Burnett and Viv Leacock star.
I don't like it. It's too dangerous.
I won't be in danger.
Legend of the Lost Locket. On Hallmark